Welcome to Game or Not to Game, the documentary that exposes the truth behind online gaming. With the PSP selling 64 million, the PlayStation 3 47 million, the Nintendo Wii with 84 million, the Nintendo DS with 144 million, the Xbox 360 50 million, and iOS and Android 220 million units, it gives you an idea of just how many people are playing games each and every day all over the world. That's 609 million units. Now that enormous number equates to just over 10 times the population of the UK. So it comes as no surprise to find that for every example of positive online gaming, there is also a negative one.
Taking the lead.
Who the you think you are? Shut the up! Shut the I'll find out where you live and kill you!
Okay, I've been playing Call of Duty for 17 hours straight. So, I punched the wall like twice, both hands. I don't give a shit, man. There's blood on the water now. So...
After seeing the disturbing footage of crazed children, we headed to Blackpool Sixth Form to carry out an experiment to help us better understand the effects of gaming. By showing them the top-rated violent games, we would see firsthand if violence can affect the average person.
The bit where the guy slashed the guy's face with the knife, like back and forth constantly.
Where he swam up to the boat and cut the guy's throat, and he went down under the water and then carried on going around slicing people's throats. But
probably when that guy got his face slashed.
On Call of Duty Black Ops, where you slit the Asian man's throat and drag him underwater.
So as a parent, would you let your children, after seeing that, play these violent games?
it's a tricky one. I think if she was old enough to understand and mature enough to understand that this is not reality, it's that fine line between is it realistic and can the effect of watching violence create violence. There's a lot of theories surrounding it, and I'm not sure whether watching violence can have a direct impact on somebody being violent, but I'd certainly censor what she was seeing. The bit where that monster climbed into that guy's head and sort of wore it, but films are just as bad.
I think gaming has grown in several major ways. I mean, just in the last 20 to 30 years, the progress has been ridiculously huge. Obviously, the first and the most noticeable one, and I think is the one that people get drawn in by the most, is graphics. We were just in basic building blocks, literally building blocks of pixels on a screen, of big blocky characters that sort of vaguely resembling humans. And then almost overnight, we got into facial scanning, we got into realistic modeling, we got into photorealism. So I think that the biggest thing, and the thing that is always going to be the thing that people notice the most about a new game, is how does it look? What are the graphics like? Even online and in magazines, the very first thing that we do to judge a game is we look at its screenshots. What does the game look like? So the impact that, wow, that game looks really good is immeasurable. I mean, that's always going to be the number one thing, and that that yardstick alone has evolved faster than anything else I can think of. So graphics has been a major innovation in that regard. I think one of the other really big factors of how games have evolved has been rich storytelling. You know, the earliest games, the games that I still enjoy, I got nothing against Pac-Man, but there's not much of a story. There's not much of a story with something like Tempest or Space Invaders. You know, it's really about the mechanics of the gameplay. Do you like pressing this button? Do you like the challenge of testing your skill to shoot down this alien at the right time as it flies by? Can you do that? I still enjoy those Twitch contests, but as games got sort of more evolved, and as, again, we went away from an arcade model where you were playing a quarter at a time for an experience that was designed to get as many quarters out of you as possible, when you had the luxury of time and playing the games in your own home, suddenly it's like, well, we can tell larger stories. And the rise of the role-playing game is a really clear example, but then suddenly everything became more about storytelling.
I think I would have to say the internet itself, just the fact that it's allowing gamers from every part of the world to interact with one another effortlessly. That has definitely changed the face of gaming as a whole, at least in my opinion. People, and I'm not a psychiatrist, I am a parent though, and my son loves Halo. He enjoys Little Big Planet, games like that, and he will sit down for an hour or 2 hours straight, play it, but he doesn't have the addictive personality to make it his entire day. To me, the individual who is addicted to anything has that instilled in their DNA.
Gaming has become a global hobby. With the introduction of Major League Gaming, many pro players have earned multi-million-pound contracts through competitions and sponsorships. Pro players are supposedly spending their entire life chained to a console. To find out if there was any truth behind these statements, we spoke to MLG Pro Arctic to find out his side of the argument.
I've always wanted to challenge myself to bigger, better things, and I've always wanted to be the best. So, most people know me for my friends, family, gaming people. I mean, you guys all know me for different reasons, but track, football, gaming, which has been kind of the topic of this discussion, has been a part of my life since about 3. So, by most standards in my life, when I tell people that I game, it's very hard for them to understand because of all the other things that I've been involved with. I've had people tell me that it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of my potential. One person told me that gaming is breeding a generation of lazy, uneducated, irresponsible individuals. I've lost friends over gaming. Just a very, very bad experience. So leading up to where I am now about gaming.
However, gaming isn't as bad as it seems. Arctic has now gone on to create a blog, a website, become a partnered YouTube channel, and review many up-and-coming products.
The way that it's really positively affected my life is that it's kind of made me more motivated to show the other side of gaming, show that positive things do happen. You can make it, you can do it, you can show other people that you can have a life outside of gaming. So it's really been influential in that regard, and I've been able to build my own blog, become a YouTube partner, just kind of build my brand around gaming. So really it's about motivation. Gaming has a lot of negative opinions about it. I mean, it's a lot of stereotypes. You know, my goal is to change a lot of stereotypes and change people's opinions about gaming. So I just want to leave people with a thought that gaming isn't as what you think it is. There's a lot more to it, and a lot more will come in the next few years.
In a country where 90% of homes are connected to high-speed broadband, where online gaming is a professional sport, and where people die after playing video games for 50 hours straight, it's an underestimate to say that South Korea is addicted to gaming and the net.
Believe it or not, these young people actually want to be here. During their winter break, around 100 South Korean students signed up for a military-style boot camp. Wearing military uniforms and braving winter temperatures, the punishing regime is designed to toughen them up. Boot camp trainer Park Tae-jin said the camp prepares the students for the real world.
It's a tough world out there. These students came here in their adolescence to grow a never-give-up spirit through this tough camp.
Instead of staying indoors and playing video games like most children, 8-year-old Lee Gwan-hee got more than he bargained for.
I expected this to be fun, but it's very tough.
About 66 kilometers southeast of the South Korean capital, Seoul, the boot camp has been running since 1999. The camp includes activities such as rappelling, a river crossing simulation, basic exercises and various team events. Training for the students lasts for up to 10 hours each day throughout the 5-day training program. And judging by the look on their faces, not many will be coming back next year.
Games are often an easy source of media to blame for addiction and violence. Here we see just how the media treats a gaming incident.
I mean, kids have access to these things, and unless you're hovering over them every second, they're going to find ways to see this stuff on the internet. How damaging is it really?
Well, the thing is, you know, it's the whole concept of like 13-year-olds have never seen Playboy because they're not supposed to. It's that idea that, I mean, let's talk about who the video game is for. It might be for adults, but if you look at the statistics, who is playing video games but adolescent males, not their dads? So that's the first thing. The damage is this. We know that all the research shows that violence has a desensitizing effect. Well, sexuality does too, because this is when the developing mind is happening. This is when they're first deciding who they're going to be, who their identity is. This is when social development is happening.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Completely incorrect. Yeah, it's completely incorrect. First of all, you can actually play as a man or a woman in the game. Cooper, have you ever played Mass Effect?
No.
Right. Well, I think the fact is you talked about, you know, another thing that you mentioned is that how it's, you know, has full graphic nudity. That's completely incorrect. There's no full nudity in this game. There's the side of an alien boob which can be seen. It's a small sexual situation in this game, which is about 2 minutes out of a 30-plus hour experience.
As we've just seen, the media often attack games. To find out if games can really affect a person, we spoke to an avid gamer to let him give his views on the gaming industry.
99% of the people that play online games will never have a problem. They'll just happily play, they'll turn it on, and they'll play away and then they'll turn it off, and that's the end of it really for me. Yeah, it can be expensive, like you've got to buy a HD TV. Like for me, I had to buy a new PC to edit, capturing software. You know, you could end up spending thousands. I probably have done really in total, but it's something I enjoy, and you know, people don't get slammed for reading books so much. You know, they don't become a book addict. I don't see why gamers, you know, have this light pinned on them as if they're addicted and they're some sort of strange people. So me, I've never been addicted to games. I enjoy gaming. Yeah, it's kind of costly paying monthly, but you know, you can go and spend that on alcohol and smoking, like £15 for £15 for 3 months it cost me. You know, people will spend that on cigarettes in a day, I'm sure. And so I just think gaming for me isn't negative. People may have had negative experiences, but I don't believe gaming addiction is bad or real. There's other positives to it as well. You know, I've socialised with people from all over the world. I have Spanish, American, German friends. That wouldn't be possible without the use of internet, without the use of these online games. And you know, I have met people that I've played in real life, a couple from Manchester and Birmingham, and Bradford actually, and so, you know, these cases where you think, oh, you're talking to a stranger is weird, is having a relationship with an online